Good evening, George Will here. Breaking news tonight, and the prudent question is not whether another palace adjacent rumor can generate a sensational headline, but whether the public record now shows a serious pattern of image control so exacting that stylists, designers, and brand gatekeepers may be calculating the risk in real time. The title claims a celebrity stylist refused Meghan over impossible demands. What the evidence actually shows tonight is narrower, but still politically and culturally significant. A former royal hairstylist describing 40 distinct looks in 3 weeks, fashion outlets reporting an unconfirmed but widely discussed styling relaunch, a reported luxury brand reluctance to provide free wardrobe support, and a rare, unusually sharp legal rebuttal from Meghan's own representative when a wardrobe allegation crossed the line from gossip into potential defamation. For an audience that understands institutions, hierarchy, and reputation, that is the real story because this is no longer merely about clothes. It is about control, leverage, and whether the market around celebrity branding is beginning to price in fatigue. The evidentiary standard matters here, and this channel will keep it plain. There are primary source items, secondary source items, and rumor tier items, and they are not equal. Primary source material includes the official royal itinerary published on September 10, 2018 for the Australia, Fiji, Tonga, and New Zealand tour. Reuters reporting from June 16, 2023 on the end of the Spotify arrangement, the text of California Civil Code sections 45 and 46 and section 1 of the UK Defamation Act 2013. Secondary source material includes People's July 23, 2025, reporting on the reported $100 million Netflix deal expiring without renewal, Vanity Fair's detailed reporting on a possible Meghan 3.0 fashion relaunch, and AOL's republication of Meghan's spokesperson's statement calling a dress allegation categorically false and highly defamatory. Then there are the weaker but still revealing pieces. Grazia's report of a rumored Jamie Mizrahi collaboration, Express citing George Northwood via radar, and Yahoo's aggregation of a report about designers keeping their distance. In other words, the record is layered, not mythical. If viewers value that distinction between confirmed fact and floating insinuation, this is the moment to subscribe because the next several minutes sort the documented pattern from the decorative noise. First, the historical operational evidence. George Northwood, identified by Express as Meghan's former stylist, said he traveled on the 2018 royal tour and that we did 40 looks in 3 weeks, while also describing work done in airport toilets with as little as 10 minutes available. That matters because it is not an anonymous internet taunt. It is a named stylist recounting an unusually high-volume presentation schedule inside an institution famous for protocol and timing. Second, the public rebrand evidence. By 2024, Grazia was reporting that Jamie Mizrahi, known for clients such as Adele, Jennifer Lawrence, Nicole Richie, and Jeremy Allen White, had reportedly been hired to help shape Meghan's next era image, though the outlet was careful to note that Mizrahi had not commented on the rumored appointment. Third, the positioning evidence. Vanity Fair later reported that Meghan had been seen in a concentrated run of high-visibility appearances framed around quiet luxury and brand signaling, with labels including Max Mara, Hermes, Saint Laurent, Giorgio Armani, Chanel, Gabriela Hearst, and Brochu Walker. That is the first escalation point tonight. The discussion moves from simple grooming to a coordinated presentation architecture, and viewers should note the precision of the wardrobe lane being constructed. Fourth comes the financial evidence, and this is where the story stops being superficial. People reported on July 23, 2025, that the Sussex Netflix production agreement, widely reported as a $100 million deal signed in 2020, would expire in September without renewal. The same article noted Netflix engagement data showing With Love, Meghan at 5.3 million views and 12.6 million hours watched in the first half of 2025, while Polo drew roughly 500,000 households and ranked far lower. Reuters had already reported on June 16, 2023, that Spotify and Archewell Audio mutually agreed to part ways after a deal media had estimated at as much as 20 million or more produced only one series. That is not merely entertainment trivia. It means every public-facing relaunch now operates under harder commercial scrutiny because styling is no longer a free-floating vanity project. It is part of a monetized comeback apparatus. Fifth comes the reputational control evidence. Meghan's representative, in a rare on-record intervention, told people through an AOL reported statement that the insinuation she took a $1,695 Galvan dress from a 2022 variety shoot without authorization was categorically false and highly defamatory, adding that any items kept were retained transparently and under contractual arrangements. When a spokesperson surfaces with that kind of language, seasoned observers understand that lawyers are nearby. Sixth, and with the most caution attached, comes the market chatter evidence. Yahoo, republishing a reality T account attributed to Rob Shooter's Substack, said Meghan had reportedly been reaching out to major labels, including Chanel, Dior, and Valentino, with one unnamed designer allegedly calling the request a bad look for someone rebuilding her image. On its own, that is not a courtroom exhibit, it is hearsay stacked on hearsay. But in combination with the Mizrahi rumor, the Northwood recollection, the Vanity Fair relaunch narrative, and the legal defensiveness around wardrobe allegations, it becomes useful not as proof of a refusal, but as proof of a climate. And climates matter. In elite fashion, a hard no is often never spoken publicly. Distance is signaled through silence, non-committal representation, deferred fittings, conditional gifting terms, and the refusal to let another person's comeback become the house's reputational risk. That is the second escalation point tonight. What sounds like a gossip item may actually be the market's discreet language of avoidance. Now, the timeline, because chronology exposes what isolated anecdotes conceal. September 10th, 2018, the royal household publishes the 16-day autumn tour. October 16th, 2018, Sydney begins the circuit. October 23rd, 2018, the delegation is in Suva, Fiji. October 25, 2018, the schedule runs through Nadi and Nuku'alofa. October 34, 2018, the tour ends in Rotorua, New Zealand. September 2nd, 2020, the New York Times reports the Netflix production agreement. December 15th, 2020, Reuters reports the Spotify podcast partnership. October 2022, Variety frames Meghan as a post-royal media entrepreneur, honoring her in the Power of Women orbit after the Queen's death. June 16th, 2023, Reuters reports the Spotify breakup. March 14th, 2024, American Riviera Orchard appears online. May 2024, Grazia reports the rumored Jamie Mizrahi styling role. July 17th, 2025, Netflix engagement data for the first half of the year is released. July 23, 2025, People reports the Netflix deal will not be renewed when it expires in September. October 4th, 2025, Meghan makes her Paris Fashion Week debut at Balenciaga. October 9th, 2025, she and Harry receive a humanitarian honor at Project Healthy Minds in New York. October 10th, 2025, they appear at the World Mental Health Day Festival. October 14th, 2025, she appears at Fortune's Most Powerful Women Summit in Washington. February 1st, 2026, Express republishes the Northwood account of 40 looks in 3 weeks. Notice the repetition: institutional platform, media repositioning, commercial repositioning, fashion repositioning, and then renewed reporting about operational demands. That sequence does not prove every rumor. It does prove a sustained, years-long effort to control visual narrative at a very high resolution. Legally, the consequences run in two directions. If false wardrobe theft or professional misconduct allegations are published in writing, California Civil Code Section 45 defines libel as a false and unprivileged publication that exposes a person to hatred, contempt, ridicule, or injury in occupation. If similar damaging claims are spoken or broadcast, Section 46 defines slander and explicitly includes statements tending directly to injure a person in profession or business. Across the Atlantic, Section 1 of the UK Defamation Act 2013 sets the threshold at serious harm to reputation. So the legal line is clear. Saying that a celebrity is demanding, difficult, or exhausting may be protected opinion in some contexts, but falsely stating as fact that she stole items, breached contracts, or engaged in conduct injuring a designer's business relationships can become actionable very quickly. That is why the most revealing detail in this story may be the vocabulary of the rebuttal itself. Categorically false. Highly defamatory. Those are not fashion words. Those are pre-litigation words. 3 principal scenarios now emerge, with a fourth lurking behind them. Scenario 1 is controlled stabilization. Meghan continues to work selectively with fashion partners, avoids flamboyant demands, and lets the 2025 and 2026 styling noise dissipate. This is the least dramatic and most rational course. Scenario 2 is conditional quarantine. Top-tier houses do not denounce her, but they insist on tighter contractual terms, stricter message control, and less informal access, effectively reducing spontaneity while preserving optionality. Scenario 3 is adversarial reputational management. More rumor cycle stories appear, more denials are issued, and the public starts reading every outfit not as taste, but as evidence in an argument about status, leverage, and decline. Scenario 4, the most consequential, is commercial decoupling. If viewership, brand sell-through, and partner confidence fail to align, then the problem ceases to be style and becomes balance sheet reality. Older institutions understand this perfectly. A rebrand can survive mockery, it rarely survives numbers. So the urgency tonight is straightforward. The headline may be hotter than the proof, but the underlying pattern is real enough to study. Exacting presentation demands, a long-running effort to choreograph image through institutions and brands, measurable pressure from underperforming commercial ventures, and a legal team alert to reputational damage. That combination is combustible. If viewers want more document-based analysis rather than tabloid fog, they should subscribe now because the next installment goes deeper into the commercial side of the equation and asks whether the numbers behind Netflix, Spotify, and luxury brand hesitation reveal a broader collapse in elite confidence. And the polling question for tonight is this: is the real issue here impossible demands, industry fatigue, or simply a public figure losing the ability to dictate the terms of her own myth? The answer to that question may determine not only the next wardrobe story, but the next chapter of the entire Sussex enterprise.